Well, greetings, everyone. I want to greet you with lots of love, peace, and positivity. And I'm on my way to work. Today's a holiday for some people, but for me, I got to go to work, which I don't mind. In fact, today I'm doing a 12-hour shift, and I'll be doing that indefinitely. My supervisor, he asked me, or he basically told me that they needed me for 12 hours each day starting today. And I need the work, I need the money, and it's no thing. You know, the good thing is that I find myself more rational with my time. And I can say this past weekend we had some good quality time. And someone said, "Oh goodness, hello Lennon, it's great to catch you." Yeah. And I'll do these live streams on the way to work. I wanted to do a live stream this weekend. How's it going? I am Carrie Ann. How you doing? I wanted to do one this weekend, but I had a lot to do, and I was trying my best to spend time with my family, and I got a little bit of rest in. But last night I got some real good sleep, so that was real good. And greetings from the Netherlands, and G Light is in the house. Y'all gonna get me in trouble now, Jasmine. I'm not about to have no accident. I've never been in a car accident, and I've been driving since I was 16. So I just want to say, everyone, thank you for all your wonderful comments in the chat room. I can't read everyone's out because I don't want to, get distracted. But we had a good time this weekend, my family and I. The thing that I found is that I'm spending more time, quality time, with my family since I started working. And I thought I would have less time to do it, but actually I just been more efficient with my time. What I want to talk about in this video is something that took place over this weekend, and it speaks to something I've been talking about for a long time, and it has more to do with our mentality and how we look at the world and how we see other people. And that if you have a very negative view about the world, a negative view about other people, it can even be about other groups of people, it's really going to hamper you. It's going to stop you from experiencing some wonderful things in your life. And it has more to do with our mentality. You know, sometimes people get into this mode of thinking where they feel like it's them against the world, and everyone they come into contact with, they don't trust anyone. They have fear, they have doubts, they think that everyone is out to get them. It's some sort of a conspiracy against them. But what it's all within the mind. It's all within the mind. And though there are people who will take advantage of us or take advantage of anyone, that doesn't mean that everyone is going to be that way. And though there are some people who, let's say, are racist towards other groups of people, that doesn't mean that everyone is that way. Same thing in relationships. Just because you've had bad experiences in relationships in the past doesn't mean that the next relationship isn't going to be a positive one. Makes sense? So one of the things that my wife and I, we've been very careful to do over the last a little bit over 10 years now, because Lennon is 13, my oldest son. So it's been maybe 11, almost 12 years now, because we've been doing work over the internet for quite some time now. It's been over a decade. But we tried our best to share positivity and love with people. And we try to share our relationship, because that's, it's just a beautiful thing. And also our family. We try to share our family, our children, things that are going on in the household. We've also shared like our struggles, our successes, but it's important, because no matter what, the thing that has always been there is there's always been a lot of love from the time that me and my wife met. There's always been a lot of love there. So we want to share that with people, and it's not based upon what your religion is. It's not based upon what your sexual preference or orientation is. It's not based upon your so-called race. It's not based upon what your so-called quote-unquote culture is, whatever that means to you. It's not about any of those things, any of the classifications that we kind of impose upon ourselves. In some cases, those classifications are nothing more than limitations. It's not about that. For us, it was about and it is about trying to give people an example of how love works, and it can work in your life. But part of having it work in your life, you have to have the right mindset. And you have to make sure that you're open to receiving and giving love. But what happens for a lot of us is we tend to close ourselves down with just these different limitations that we place upon ourselves. And then we have these negative views about other people, other groups of people. And it's unfortunate. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when we made the announcement that we were going to be moving to Utah, we had quite a few people saying things like, not a lot of people, but there were quite a few people who were saying things like, well, there's not going to be any culture there because it's all white people there. Or, there's not any black people there, so why would you go there? It's going to be racist. They're all going to be racist towards you. You see the limiting mentality? And I'm going to tell y'all right now, this has been the best thing that has happened to our family since James was born. and he's 6 now. I can't tell you how much of a blessing it has been to be here, and the type of support that we receive from people that we didn't even know when we moved out here. I mean, it's really incredible. It really is. And that's the other thing too. If you ever come out here, we live near Salt Lake City. There's been so many different events, especially over the summertime, that were cultural events. In particular, like people, what do they call that? I can't remember what it is. Hawaiian festivals. There's a certain term for it. Tonga. I don't know. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, there's been so many different cultural festivals, different performances by different groups from around the world. And we've gone to a lot of that stuff, and we've really enjoyed it. So there's a lot of culture here, much more than what we experienced living in Southern California. So it's been really interesting. And the thing is that when we would go to these different events and different venues, in some cases it was like amphitheaters, there was festivals, all kinds of stuff. There were an Indian Bollywood festival that we went to. It goes on and on and on. It's been so many wonderful things. And not just that kind of stuff. There's been stuff like Adopt a Pet, quote unquote, festivals where people come and there's pets there and there's all different animals. You can check out all the animals, and if you want to adopt one, and we went to the zoo. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. But the thing that my wife and I, we always notice is that there's a lot of families, and a lot of large families. When I say large families, I mean like huge. Like we have 5. I mean, where we come from, like in Southern California, people, they look at that and like shocked, like, what? You have 5 children? But out here, it's like so normal. 2 is like, you only have 2? 4 is like, oh, okay, 4 or 5, oh, okay. Then maybe when you start to get to 6 or 7, people say, wow, you have a large family, right? But 5 is large, where we come from. Most people would think that that's large. But the thing is that it tends to be family oriented. So a lot of people, they don't limit themselves based upon a lot of the other limitations, because ultimately family is what is important to them. And you can see it so very clearly. And that's what's important to us. So this all to say that we've gotten a very positive response from people out here, especially when they see us all together as a family, because people, they can tell, like family-oriented people who are in loving families, they can tell when other people's families are oriented properly and where there's a lot of love in those families. You can really tell. You can tell right away. And we've gotten so many different comments or compliments. We go into the store. Where were we at the other day? My wife and I and the children. Yeah, I think we were at the store. And this lady, she was, and this always happens at the store, but this one lady, she walked past my wife. She was going out, and she grabbed my wife's arm. Was like, something to the effect of, yeah, you have a beautiful family, or something like that. I just want to tell you, you have a beautiful family, and that kind of stuff. So it's an affirmation, but also just to get that type of reception from people, I think it's very encouraging. This isn't the type of thing that we would get when we were in Southern California. We got a lot of people had negative things to say about larger families. So the reason I'm bringing all this up is because the idea that just because someone is of a quote-unquote race and you're not of that so-called race, that somehow they're going to mistreat you, it's erroneous and it's very limiting. Mind you, there are some people out there who are ignorant and they're going to do things and say things based upon their racial prescription, but that doesn't mean that everyone of that you would perceive to be of that race is that way. Similarly, there are people who may be within your quote-unquote race, and I'm using that term just because it's ridiculous, but there are some people who are in your quote-unquote race and they treat you poorly. And they may even treat other groups or other races, quote-unquote races, much better than they treat people of their own quote-unquote race. A lot of y'all know what I'm talking about, especially in the African-American community. You'd be surprised. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because, the thing that I've noticed is that oftentimes, even what we perceive to be other people's intentions or negative intentions, it's all in our mind, and it has more to do with how we see ourselves and how we relate to the world. If we already have these limitations that we place upon ourselves or upon other people and our expectations, these negative stereotypes, we're going to shut ourselves off from experiencing very, very wonderful and powerful things. Now, I can tell you that one of the things that has happened for my family, because we haven't taken an orientation and we have created these negative race-based stereotypes about other groups of people, it's opened us up to interacting with people in a fair manner. And you'd be surprised at what happens when you deal with people fairly. You'd be surprised at what happens when you're willing to treat people as a human being, regardless of what quote unquote race they belong to, or what their sexual orientation is, or what their political leanings are. That's another example. Limitations that people place on themselves or on other people. And these negative expectations or negative stereotypes that people have. That person is from the left, that person's from the right, that person is Democrat, Republican. It goes on and on and on. It's political gangbanging. It's ridiculous. But we tend to shut ourselves off from interacting with other human beings because of these limitations. And this is what I wanted to tell you. I'm almost at work. I made good time with it. So when we moved from Hemet, California, which is about 2 hours west of Los Angeles, we moved from there to Utah, and it's south of Salt Lake City. You know, it may take me about 20 minutes to get to Salt Lake City from where we live. We had to get rid of a whole lot of stuff because we could only fit so much stuff inside of the van. And I got the smallest van, or U-Haul truck, the smallest U-Haul truck I could possibly get, because I was trying to save as much money as I could possibly save. So up until the time that we left, we were getting rid of stuff. And one of the things that we got rid of, was all of our garden supplies, or at least most of them. Shovels, you know, rakes, stuff like that. There was smaller stuff that we could bring with us, but most of the other stuff we had to get rid of. And so we had already been clear. We wanted to have a garden this year because the backyard is huge. It's beautiful back there. We want to have a garden. We wanted to have a garden this year, but we didn't get here in time because by the time we got here, it's already started cooling down. And we wouldn't have been able to plant and then, you know, got a harvest by now. And now it's really starting to cool down, at least by our standards, from Southern California. So we left a lot of the garden stuff back and we gave it away. We gave away a whole lot of stuff throughout, like weeks, or actually months before we moved, but also leading into the final week that we were there. We were just getting rid of as much stuff as we could. And there were people who would just stop by, they would be driving by and they'll see stuff set out and we would just give it to them. And we didn't know where we were going to get anything. We were going to get the stuff back. Like once we moved, like, okay, furniture, we didn't necessarily know, but we know that it was something that needed to be done and we were giving and giving and giving. And one of the things that we gave away was all of our garden equipment. So once we got out here, we're very clear, okay, we want to have a garden next spring. Obviously, I picked up a full-time job. I'm getting into the job right now. All this is part of me preparing so that after winter, there are things that I want to be able to do and our family wants to be able to do. And it was necessary for me to get our financial situation in, a much better position. Hey, what's up? My co-worker. He's cool. That dude's real cool. I'm going to pull it in right here. See how much time. I got 10 minutes. Okay, so I don't have to rush. I'll talk with y'all for about 5 more minutes and then it's time to get to work. I'll be here from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Man got to do what a man's got to do. So, yeah, we've enjoyed it. Someone said, never been to Utah. This has been so wonderful. So many people, so many people. It's just, yeah, they're racist and it's white. Yeah, well, some people are, some people are not. It's like people say black men are all thugs and we're all, violent. No, not some. Yeah, and I avoid those ones, but not all of us. You see my point? It's those limitations. It's totally unfair. We have to be fair with people. So, so there was a woman on Facebook who contacted me and she was telling me that she was going to be moving and she was like, I have stuff. And if you're interested in it, some clothes for the girls. I have stuff, garden stuff. If you're interested in it, you're welcome to come and get it. And this was maybe about 3 weeks ago or so. And we've been talking over Facebook like over the last 3 weeks. And I finally was able to go to her place Saturday. And she had all kinds of stuff. And not only did she have all kinds of stuff like gardening stuff, we got everything that we need in terms of gardening, everything, even a lawnmower, weed whacker. She even gave us a snow shoveler, automatic. You plug it in and you can shovel the snow. It's electric. I don't know anything about any of that. I've never even been in the snow really. Okay. Except when I was in Chicago one time visiting my wife's grandmother and grandfather, and it was in the wintertime. And that's the only time I really saw it that I can think of where I saw snow, but we've never been in it. But we're going to be in it now. I keep saying to myself, winter is coming. That's another reason I want to make sure I have financially get things in order, so that by the time it really starts to cool down, my family is going to be comfortable. And they have to be warm and comfortable. So the money has to be there to make all that happen. And where I work at, it's an open dock. And so basically, whatever cold it is outside, that's how cold it is in the dock. So that's going to be a challenge. But you got to do what you got to do. You really have to do what you got to do. So anyway, everything that we're going to need in order to garden, including seeds, she had a whole bunch of seeds that she gave us. We now have it. Everything. Rakes, shovels. Some of the stuff she gave us, I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna have to go online and figure out, well, okay, how do we use this? But all this is so that it's much more than what we had when we were in Hemet. But the point is that we were willing to give to people just because it was necessary, you know, but also because out of the kindness of our heart. We didn't charge anyone when they were coming to get stuff. It was like, and Hemet was like, no, just go ahead and take it. Go ahead and take it. We could have sold a lot of stuff. No, we just gave it away. We've been blessed. Go ahead and take it. Refrigerator, go ahead and take it. The oven, the new tenant that was moving in, I said, you need an oven? He says, yeah. I said, well, look, we'll leave the oven here. It works fine. You can have it. You know, we gave away so much stuff. Couches, a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But the thing is this, everything comes back. And it comes back even more. But your heart has to be in the right place. And your mentality about other people has to be in the right place. You have to have faith in knowing that there are good people in the world. And if you are willing to be kind and fair and good to people, that it's all going to come back to you. And it's going to come back to you, not just, you know, based upon what you gave and what you were able to share with other people, but it'd be much more. And that's precisely what took place for us. I mean, she even gave us a grill. We've never had anything like that. You know, like your barbecue grill, you can go out in the backyard. It's nice too. I put it together. I took it apart and I put it together before I came to work. We'll bust that out when the springtime comes. We'll be in the backyard. Can you imagine? We might even have to do, yeah, someone said for free. Yes, for free. She said, come and get it. She's been following my work for a long time, going back to the old, you know, when I was talking like more within the scope of quote unquote conspiracy theory stuff. But she's also watched, you know, the growth, my own progressions. And now I start talking about family. I talk about relationships. I talk about manhood, fatherhood, this kind of stuff. So she's been, you know, and a grill, and it's a nice grill. It's big. So you know, can you imagine? We might even have to do some live streams, and I'll be out there in the springtime grilling, you know, some vegan hamburger or whatever. Not a hamburger, but you know what I'm talking about. Vegan hot dogs or whatever. There's a whole lot of other stuff too. I can't even tell you how much stuff it was. As a matter of fact, I had to go twice, not just once. I had to go back the following day to get some ladders. And when I went to see that day, on Saturday when I got loaded all the stuff in there, so much stuff. I can't even tell you how much other stuff it was. She also had a beautiful garden in the backyard. I mean, it was huge and it was beautiful. And she says, well, do you want to take some food, some stuff out of the garden with you? We're in Utah, people. And, you know, y'all want to say, you know, I hear people, white people are, you know, they're all racist. And man, I'm sorry. See, that's just limitations. We stop ourselves and we block ourselves and we want to blame other people for why things go the way that they go in our lives. And we're so unhappy. No, you got to open your heart up and you got to be fair with people. Not everyone is racist. Not everyone is, you know, mean-spirited. Not everyone is going to take advantage. There are good people, wholesome people, but you have to be good and whole in order to see them. Yeah, someone said don't be late. You're right. I got 5 minutes. But real quick, so she said, look, would you like some of these vegetables? I said, sure. And we went to the garden and we picked all of this vegetables, watermelon, tomatoes, pumpkins. I mean, it was on and on. Onions. I don't know. My whole back thing was the remaining space in the back here. That's when I put it. Then I come back the next day. My wife, she made a good meal that night too. Come back the next day. And then we load up. I get some more stuff, a little small couch. It was some ladders and some other stuff. We put it in the back. And then she says, you want to take some more? I said, sure. And so we loaded up even more than we had the first. So we took all that back home and we are so thankful. My wife, she made some pumpkin soup last night. It was so good. I couldn't stop eating. I stuffed myself like a pig. I slept good too. You know, a brother slept good too with that pumpkin soup. But y'all see my point? I'm done. Y'all see my point? It's about our mentality and how we treat people. If you're kind and if you're loving, you'll be amazed at what will happen for you. The universe will open up for you and it will open up in a profound way. And everything that you felt like you would never be able to have, it will come to you. And if you've given in the past, it'll come back to you. We now have everything that we need in terms of gardening for next year. Everything, all the way down to the seeds. I have a lawnmower now. I've never owned a lawnmower. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen. Love is real. And I want to encourage you to love somebody today. Let go of the negative mentality. Love someone today, and you'll be amazed at what will transpire in your life tomorrow. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll send you, I'll talk with y'all tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow, and I want to send you lots of love, peace, and positivity. Got to go to work. All right? Make that money, make that cheese. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.